The Krexhai had ruled the Galactic Council for 3 millennia, their reputation as the sole Deathworld species unchallenged. Their homeworld, Krex Prime, boasted gravity twice the galactic standard, temperatures that fluctuated between freezing and boiling within hours, and predators that could tear through steel. Every other species in the council viewed them with a mixture of awe and terror. Commander Vexenar stood proud on the bridge of his warship. His 4 arms crossed over his armored thorax. His species' natural chitin plating, thick as starship hull, gleamed under the harsh lights. Today, they would make first contact with a new species from a remote arm of the galaxy, humans they called themselves. Pathetic, his lieutenant hissed, reviewing the data. Their homeworld has barely 1.0 standard gravity. Moderate temperatures. They require constant hydration and sleep for nearly a third of their life cycle. Vexenar's mandibles clicked in amusement. Another soft species to add to their collection of subjects. The council meeting would be a mere formality. The human delegation arrived in a modest vessel, unremarkable except for its unusual heat signatures. Ambassador James Morrison stepped forward, flanked by 2 companions. No armor, no visible weapons, just fabric coverings and exposed skin. "Greetings," Morrison said, extending his hand. A gesture Vexenar recognized as peaceful, though he didn't reciprocate. "We're excited to join the galactic community." The Krexhai delegation exchanged amused glances. Lieutenant Thexar couldn't contain himself. "Tell us, human, what dangers does your world possess? What trials did your species overcome?" Morrison smiled. "Oh, the usual. Hurricanes, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions. We've got some interesting wildlife, sharks, bears, venomous snakes. Nothing too extreme." "Nothing too extreme?" Vexenar's voice dripped condescension. "On Krex Prime, our youngest hatchlings face acid storms. Our oceans boil. Every creature is armored, venomous, or both. We are Deathworlders, human. You are prey." The human smile didn't waver. "Interesting perspective. Say, Commander, I notice your environmental suits. Protection against biological contaminants. Of course, one can never be too careful around inferior species and their diseases." "Ah," Morrison nodded thoughtfully. "We don't bother with those anymore. Built-up immunities, you know. Though I should mention you might want to upgrade your filters. Earth's microbiome is rather aggressive." Vexenar scoffed. "Our immune systems evolved in the harshest conditions imaginable. No pathogen could." He was interrupted by a wet sneeze from one of the human companions. "Sorry," the woman said, wiping her nose. "Common cold. Goes around every year." The Krexhai instinctively stepped back. "You brought diseased individuals to a diplomatic meeting?" "Oh, she's not diseased," Morrison chuckled. "Just a minor rhinovirus. Humans get dozens of these throughout their lives. Build character, really? Dozens?" Thexar's voice cracked. On Krex Prime, a single infection meant death or lifetime quarantine. Morrison continued, oblivious to their horror. "That's nothing compared to our history. The Black Death, Spanish flu, smallpox each killed millions of us. We just kept going. Natural selection at its finest." "Millions?" Vexenar whispered. "Oh yes, and don't get me started on our recreational activities. Ever heard of free climbing? Human-scale vertical cliff faces thousands of feet high. For fun. No safety equipment." One of the other humans, a younger man, perked up. "I went bungee jumping last week. You tie an elastic cord to your ankles and jump off bridges. The cord catches you right before you hit the ground." The Krexhai stood in stunned silence. Morrison continued cheerfully. "We also ingest poisons for pleasure. Alcohol, caffeine, capsaicin, that last one triggers our pain receptors. We eat it because we enjoy the burning sensation." "You enjoy pain?" Thexar's armored form trembled. "Some of us pierce metal through our skin as decoration. Others break bones in competitive sports and keep playing. We've even split atoms and used the resulting explosions as weapons against each other." "Against each other?" Vexenar's voice was barely audible. Oh yes, humans have always been our own greatest predator. We've had thousands of wars. We got so efficient at killing each other that we had to invent rules to make it sporting. The younger human added helpfully, "My grandfather survived something called chemotherapy. They poisoned him nearly to death to kill cancer cells. He lived another 20 years after that." VexNAR's tactical display began flashing warnings. The human ship's heat signatures suddenly made sense, not poor shielding, but biological readings off the charts. These creatures ran hot, burned energy at rates that would kill any other species within hours. "You asked about our trials," Morrison said softly. "Every human alive descends from ancestors who survived plagues. Wars, famines, and disasters that wiped out 90% of their communities. We evolved on a world where everything tried to kill us, including ourselves. And we didn't just survive. We thrived. We conquered every continent, tamed the deadliest diseases, and split the atom. Then we looked up at the stars and decided those should be ours too." He stepped forward, and the HFY, the most feared warriors in the galaxy, stepped back. "So yes, Commander, Earth has standard gravity and moderate temperatures. But we share our planet with trillions of microorganisms that wage constant war on our bodies. We voluntarily expose ourselves to deadly situations for entertainment. We consume toxins for pleasure. We turned our greatest weapons against our own kind and somehow survived. We are not prey, Commander VexNAR. We are persistence predators who evolved to run our prey to exhaustion under the burning sun of the African savanna. We are the species that looked at the vastness of space and said, 'Challenge accepted.'" The silence stretched between them. Finally, VexNAR spoke, his voice carefully neutral. "The Council will need time to review humanity's application." Morrison smiled again, and this time the HFY noticed how many teeth humans displayed when they did so. "Of course. Take all the time you need. We're very patient." As the human delegation departed, VexNAR turned to his commander. "Sir, should we recommend rejection?" VexNAR watched the human ship disappear into the void. "No, we recommend immediate acceptance. And we update the records." His chittering voice carried across the bridge. "The galaxy no longer has one Deathworld species. It has two. And I fear theirs makes our hell look like paradise." The bridge crew exchanged nervous glances. They had built their entire identity around being the only species tough enough to survive a Deathworld. Today, they learned what it meant to be truly terrifying. To come from a world so deadly that its inhabitants considered it normal, even pleasant. They had met the humans, and they were afraid.